Hi guys and welcome back. In today's video we have as a guest one of the European players who qualified for the World Championship this season. Focusing on today's topic, you recently posted a tier list on Twitter and I'd love to hear your explanation about the placement of certain decks and as well as your opinion on the ban list and how it has influenced your thinking. So, you placed two of the new OP12 leaders, Zoro and Rayleigh, in tier 1. Why did you decide to rank both of this deck among the best in the format?
I think Rayleigh is the best aggressive deck right now because it has a really good matchup versus Green Purple Luffy, which I think is one of the other tier 1 decks. And also I think it's really strong versus Zoro because Zoro won a swing over one of your characters and then make the second swing at your leader. But as an aggressive deck, you are happy if they swing at your face. In fact, most of the control decks don't swing at all at the start of the game in the first few turns. So you are happy when Zoro attacks you. So it's like their leader is, they have a vanilla leader versus you because you wanna take hits at your face. I think Rayleigh is really good versus the other tier 1 decks. The only problem of Rayleigh is that Bonney counters it, and I think Bonney is the fourth tier 1 leader. But also I think Rayleigh is really good into the leaders with for life, like Sakazuki, which is getting more popularity in the last days. And also I think the consistency and power level of Rayleigh is really high. I mean, it has like 20 searchers, and every card almost do the same. So it's like you are drawing 5 or 6 cards, and like 3 of the cards in your hand do the same thing, and the other 3 do another thing that both work together. In this way, you have still a lot of options, but different options for every matchup. So I think this makes Rayleigh one of the strongest decks. And also Zoro is really good as well, because it gatekeeps a lot of decks, since it can kill everything and still put pressure at their life. And also I think the pool of green cards is really, I think, the best at the moment, especially because the new OP12 event, the Azura, is like one of the best cards of the game ever printed. Also the fact that Zoro has 5 lives makes it too strong. And also I think it loses only to Rayleigh among the tier 1 decks. That's why I'm putting it in tier 1 as well. And also in general is a really consistent deck. It has a few options, but it is really consistent in what it does. So that's another reason why I'm putting it in tier 1.
And continuing with the top part of the tier list, we can see the return of decks like Shanks and Bonney. Why do you think they've come back so strong?
Okay, I think both Bonney and Shanks had the same issue in the pre-banned meta, which was UP. I think UP was gatekeeping a lot of decks, like almost every control deck. Because when you play a control deck, you need to reach the late game, the end game, in order to stabilize. But UP had a really fast start, so both Bonney and Shanks were not able to keep the board of UP in control, since Nanko Sanji was too aggressive. And also UP value generator, the leader itself, was too much for Bonney and Shanks. But at the moment I think UP is still okay-ish, but not top tier. So I think both Bonney and Shanks are rising in popularity, also because they are really good into the new decks. So I think before UP, both Bonney and Shanks were already really strong. But now they also got new supports, like Shanks got the new 4-cost Shanks, which is really powerful. And Bonney received a lot of new tools, like consistency tools, like the 5-cost Bonney blocker. And that card is really good because Bonney, the main issue of Bonney is the consistency, because you you have just one searcher, the one cost Bonney, and also the 2 cost Hidden Killer, but they don't search for the high-end cards, like the high cost cards, like 10 cost Luffy, 9 cost Shanks, or 9 cost Zoro. But with the new Bonney, you can both draw for the cards that you need and also filter your hand and discard non-counters. That card really makes the difference, I think. That's the reason why I'm putting Bonney so high in the tier list. And also Shanks as well. In fact, I'm putting Shanks in tier 1.5.
So you mentioned the OP, so I'd like to take the chance to ask your opinion on the ban list. Did you like it, and what you think about UP and Sakazuki in the current format?
Okay, I think the banned is amazing. I really love this banned because I think Luffy, especially the UP Luffy mirror, was really toxic, and also Luffy was gatekeeping a lot of decks. So I also really enjoy the leader plus Katakuri or plus Lin, so you can still play that cards in different decks, in other decks, but they can be played in UP. I really like this kind of band, and also yeah, I really like the new format. There are I think 4 or maximum 5 tier 1 decks, but I think every deck is playable. There is not a huge gap between the tier 1 decks and the tier 3 decks. Yeah, I think this meta is really good in my opinion. It's really balanced. There is not a tier 0 deck, and I think it's the best scenario possible when there is not a tier 0 deck, because when UP was the best deck, there were only UP or UP counters. I really dislike that kind of formats. So I think this banned is really amazing. And also for Nami, obviously. I think Nami, Nami is too toxic. I really hate that kind of decks.
This kind of deck limited the design of the game
Yeah.
in a kind of toxic way. Still talking about the tier list, we can see that you put all the Blacks leader in tier 3, basically. And I want to ask you why you think that this kind of deck are falling off.
I think every black leader, or like almost every black leader, loses to the OP12 green event, the Azura. I think that card alone completely changed the meta, because usually black decks have a slow start until they manage to control the board and eventually stabilize. But even if you stabilize and you hide behind the 2 blockers, green decks can still win the game with the Azura event, because they can just tap 2 blockers and kill you. They only need to stick 1 body and then use Azura and then go for double swing with leader plus the other body. And also I think the card is really good in the mid game, because usually black decks play reducers, like recurring reducers like Van Ogre or Kuzan. But with that card you can just punish them and tap them and swing over them. And also I think Green Zoro is what is like gatekeeping them, because it does everything that they wanna deny, because Green Zoro can just tap everything, every reducer, every kind of setup that black decks wanna make, and then Zoro keeps applying pressure while still removing every KO or reducer. They can't do anything versus it, so they just lose to Zoro. That's why.
Okay, so basically Zoro is gatekeeping all the Blacks leader by his own.
Yeah, mainly Zoro, but also the Azura spell.
Yeah, Azura is in an insane card for sure. Okay, thank you so much for your insight on the current state of the meta. We hope that the video was useful to you all, and see you in the next video. Bye!